Hey y'all, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Fidlar, a song called No Waves by Fidlar. They're a punk band from the surf punk scene. They're really good, fast-paced, but this is a simple song. I really like the melodic parts in the chorus, so we'll get into the four-chord meat of the song, and then I'll also show you, the chorus notes. So let's get started. There's two different ways to play both just the chords and then also the melody. So let's get into it. It would be this G bar chord. Most of the song is probably played with bar chords since it's punk. So it'd be something along those lines. Practically what that was going from G to B to E to C. So let's get started on the fingerings for that. So a G bar chord starts on the third fret of the low E string, fifth fret of the A string, fifth fret of the D string. So you'll be playing that. There's different ways to play it. You can play it like that or like this. The bar chords are practically the same fingering, just moved around. So because your starting note is this G right here on the third fret, E, F, G. You also, have the same type of thing going on the A string. So it's A, and then this is B. The second fret is B. So you're gonna be able to play that B bar chord pretty easily, right there, just like that. Now an E bar chord is practically an E minor. Everybody knows how to play E minor if you're playing the guitar. But then you're muting these last three strings. Sometimes I play it like that, just with one finger. Sometimes I play it like that. But then that really doesn't allow me to mute the string. So I just recommend maybe these two fingers, your index and your middle. Or it could also just be a one finger bar once you get it down. So C would be starting on the third fret of the A string, fifth fret of the D, fifth fret of the G. You're gonna get that C bar chord, or the power chord. For that, I like putting my index on the third, my ring finger on the fifth of the D, and then my pinky on the fifth of the G. You get like a really solid sound with that. So anyway, another way that we could play this could also be with open chords. Of course, this open G is pretty easy, but I'll get into it. Third fret of the low E, second fret of the A string, and then everything else is open practically except the third fret of the high E. And that's just a common G string. It's really, nothing wrong with that. Let's get into a B minor. B minor is a little bit more difficult because it is a bar chord, but there are some simple ways to play it. So let's get into the bar chord version, then I'll show you guys the pure finger version. So if that makes sense, the pure finger on note rather than barring two, or a couple strings. It starts on the second fret of the B, and then you put your ring on the fourth fret of the D, pinky on the fourth fret of the G, and then on the B string, you're gonna put your middle finger. On the third fret of the B string, you're gonna put your middle finger. So it's gonna make a sound something like that once you get it ringing right. And then this last string is really, you have a couple different options. You can either play it like this without ringing that second note, or you could ring that second note without ringing that B on top. This is sort of like, I guess you could say a more folky way of playing it, which really comes down to you have the ring finger on the fourth of the D, pinky on the fourth of the G, and then middle finger on the third of the B right here, and then index on the second of the high E. You just get a bar chord, or you get a minor, triad. You can move that up different positions. Look, this is B minor, this is D minor, this is E minor, this is E minor too. Going on to the next chord. So E minor, very simple. We covered that. Different ways to play it. It's just these two strings. Just playing second fret of the A, 2nd fret of the D, and then you're gonna get that E minor chord. Now, moving on to a C, everybody knows open C, but let's get slightly into it. If you don't, you wanna have your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D, and then your index on this C note right here, the 1st note of the B string, because it goes B, C, right? With no gap in between. There's no B flat, there's no C sharp. It's just B, C. Now, that's the whole song. The chorus is the same chords as the verse, but there is a melodic part that I really enjoy. Let's get right into it. So they play. Now, how that sounds is really a bit of a mess up there, but I have the right idea in mind. I just, wanted to get this video out to show you guys sort of, an easy way of getting it down. So, let's play that again. This is sort of how the melodic version of the chorus goes. Now, as I said earlier in the video, there's 2 separate ways to play this. I'll get into this one, and then I'll get into, a little bit differently. Now, starts on the 10th fret of the B string and goes to the 7th fret of the high E. Da. Sorry, I apologize for that. It starts on the 7th fret of the high E, and then it goes down to the 10th fret of the B. So you do that 4 times. It goes B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A. Those are the notes. And then you switch it down to the 9th fret of the B, moving on to the 5th fret of the high E. So if you notice, I'm switching which notes I'm playing first. So with the first melodic line, I was playing with the first little, 2 notes, I was playing the high E first. The second time, I'm playing the B string first. So it's gonna sound. Now from there, they move on to a simple third. It's going from a third to a third. What that is, that could be G to, that could be E to G. Down here, but the way that I like playing is it's the 9th fret of the G string, and then the 8th fret. It's the 9th fret of the G string, and then the 8th fret, right, of the B string. And that's pretty simple. The last part, of course, I just want to let you know for that last part where we're going from the E to G, you're playing the E first. So then you're going to be playing right here, you're going to be playing the G string first. Moving on to the next. That's practically the last part. It starts on the 7th fret of the G string, moves up to the 5th fret of the B, and then you're practically doing that. You're doing that until it ends, where it lasts for 2 times longer than 1 note. They take a little break, a little pause at that E note, and then they sort of resolve onto a B. They resolve onto a B note right here. So just to get into the whole thing again, that's practically the whole song. And then that B note is going to be the 9th fret of the D string. So it goes. So let's get into a little bit. Let's try to play, you know, full rhythm. So it goes. Something along those lines, right? Now there's a different way to play it. I think that they do play it, you know, on the recordings like this, with hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's a little bit more advanced, but I'll try to give you guys the idea for whoever wants to try it. Maybe if you're watching this video, you already know how to play the guitar, you just want to know the chords. It goes a little something like this. It's the same notes, except you're playing it on the D string only with hammer-ons and pull-offs. Sounds a little something like that. And then also the chorus does have a slight variation to it. It goes, so they do that probably one time and then they switch back to the original version. If you do take note of that, it does go B, A, B, A, E, D, E, D, and then it goes back to the, and it just goes back to the beginning. But I just wanted to take note of that. So that's the seventh fret of the E string, 5th fret of the E string, going up to the 12th fret of the E string, to the 10th fret of the E string. Now that's the whole song. Feel free to, check the song out, play along. Now you can, because it's pretty simple, and these are the basic chords. So thank you guys so much for watching.